Okay, here's our update on uranium. We'll start with CCJ as our proxy, and then we'll look at some other uranium names very quickly. And so, starting with the daily chart, today we did form a swing high. So today was day 21, and by forming a swing high today, we have confirmed day 20 as a swing high, which was Monday. So and that high was 25.88. This is the candle that marks, I'll zoom in. This is the candle that marks that high. Once we went below the low of that candle, which was 25.15, that is our swing high. So that's the level. That's your sort of bull bear line to a large degree, that 25.15 level. And so if we, given the timing, you would think that we're moving into a daily cycle low. So we start to ratchet lower, at least breaking the 10-day moving average. You can see this pullback here was bought up. So now it's going to be a question of, do we get a higher low like this? So we want to stay above this low for sure. Because we have a series of higher lows, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Now we have to see if this thing can hold again above here. And so more importantly, if we look at the weekly cycle, and you'll take a look at the link in the description. I'll have a link to the previous uranium update, but also the broader market update. And you'll see I talk about how we probably had a weekly cycle low actually like 5-6 weeks ago, or 7 weeks ago really. So week 16 for the S&P, week 13 for the Qs, it was the same actual calendar week. And so it really does call into question, this right now would be theoretically week 12 after a top on week 4. I mean, this looks incredibly bearish regardless of what the cycle count is. I mean, this is a big shooter candle, and we are below. So we're actually now right above the swing high from the weekly. I just talked about how we just formed a swing high on the daily. We are just getting above, and just to be clear, this candle is the one that marks the high, right? And so the low of that candle is 24.61. So we are above 24.61, and so that is promising. But we've now formed a swing high on the daily, and so the question is, do we start to ratchet down? What we really want to hold is this high from this week, which is, I mean, the low, I should say. The low here is all the way down around 22, so that'd be a pretty big drop this week. Even so, it doesn't mean we're going to get a big, violent sort of V recovery. We could still just kind of chop around here for a little bit. We'll need to kind of see what this week wants to do, because right now it's an inside day. It's only Monday. And so tomorrow, do we get follow through and we push lower? Or do we start to see a bit of a recovery and this could become a bit of a fake out on the daily level? We're just going to have to sort of watch. And on the monthly level, again, today was our first day of the month. So this is basically just a daily candle in monthly form, if nothing else. And so again, as we get more data for the month, this candle will start to build out. What we want to see is we want to make a high above last month's high, which was that 25.88 level. Once we do that, we have a monthly swing low, and then 28 is that next level that we'd be looking to test. So we're kind of in wait and see mode here, although I would say it's leaning bearish, at least short term, because we do have a swing high on the daily. You have to respect that price action signal on that time frame. And just looking across the uranium space, this is the daily chart. This is CCJ, which we just looked at. But you can look at, this is the ETF, URA, GoVX, Fission Uranium, Paladin Energy, NextGen, UEC, Denison. You can see some of these actually managed to stay green. So GoVX did, Fission did, Paladin did, though it did make a lower low. This is looking like it's setting up a fake breakdown. So you can see a little bit of dispersion here. Denison probably looks the most bearish. It had already made a swing high, and now it's just kind of seems to sort of be descending further. And if we do a quick scan of the weekly chart for these guys, so these are all more or less weekly inside weeks. So again, that's CCJ that we just looked at, GoVX inside. Now, or excuse me, the uranium ETF inside. GoVX has actually made a new high on the weekly. Let's zoom in on that one. So here, we have a pretty clear swing low from the week of July 5th. And now this is week 1, 2, 3, 4. So you notice I don't have any cycle counts on this, but I know this is our last major low. So now we're in a rally that is 4 weeks old. This is the 4th week. We've obviously got a pullback on the daily. That was our, I think this one has printed a swing high. But interesting to note that we're making highs. That it could mean that we top out here and then we make our next leg lower. But in terms of relative strength, this is obviously doing better than the pack. And if we look on the monthly, right. So we actually have a new high on the monthly. You can see this candle is above this one. Again, it's literally just 1 day of price action, so pretty scant in terms of data. But those are the patterns that we're going to be looking for. And again, I just remind, if we go back to CCJ, we just remember 3-year cycle, 36 months. We have our top on month 25. The only thing I would add to that is 36 months is just ballpark. This thing could end much earlier than that, or it could drag on for longer. So we will have to kind of watch the price action, which is why if we start to see new highs on the monthly, like, we have to respect that price action signal above sort of quote unquote timing bands. But right now we're mostly in wait and see mode. And I think if anything, the broader market is going to reveal more to us about what direction uranium is headed.